All right, welcome to BuffaloPlus.com and Buffalo Plus on YouTube. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Jim Kelly going on CBS Radio talking about the fact that he thinks something would go wrong if the Bills don't win the AFC East this season. Mike, to hear that, what runs through your head?
Well, Jim's the last one to do it, 1995. I mean, it's pitiful, right, that the Bills have been this long. Patriots have won it 19 times during that span. But I see what Jim is saying. The Bills have built up the team, and Brady is out, right? Brady is gone. You're the Houston Rockets. You're the Indiana Pacers, and Jordan leaves, and you want to be the one. Sure, you wanted to beat him, but you're kind of happy he's gone for a little while. They are, but it's still another thing to say that the Bills are the team to beat and should do it. It's another thing to actually do it.
Yeah, it seems like we talked a lot about here on the pressure and how much pressure is on Josh Allen. And it's one thing when national media, Adam Shine, is a big Bills fan and hoorah, Bills Mafia. And he goes, Josh is a dark horse MVP. And then we kind of break it down objectively. Maybe they just kind of wanted to get some clicks. But it is a whole nother level when you go from thinking that they're the best team to win this division. Because if you look at their roster-wise, they probably have the most talent on both sides of the football. But then it's another thing when your former Hall of Fame quarterback says it. It just adds a ton more pressure. You're not going to hear Josh say it. You're not going to hear Bean say it. You're not going to hear McDermott say it. They're going to keep things very close to the vest because you just don't want to poke the bear that is Bill Belichick or this underdogs of Miami and the Jets. So it is weird where we can all agree, I think, right here that the Bills should win it, but it's just another thing to go out and say it.
Yeah. And I mean, hearing that even and having you say it, it's like, yeah, they really should. Because you said, like, the talent-wise on the roster, the stability that the Bills have, it all makes sense. But you talk about the sleeping bear of Bill Belichick. And, Mike, I mean, how much can we don't really know, I feel like, what the Patriots are going to be this season. We don't know what Jarrett Stidham would be if he's going to be their quarterback. But having a guy like Belichick, I mean, to me, it's just like, how can we count out the Patriots?
Well, I don't think you can count him out at all. We don't know what Jarrett Stidham is going to be. I mean, there are people around that organization that really like him. And again, he hasn't played. So there's only so much that I think you can expect out of a guy in his first year actually playing. But that being said, Belichick is a genius. He is the all-time best coach in the NFL. There's a reason he's won. But he's always had Brady to lean back on. And even if he's lost him for short periods of time, it's still Brady and that team. In my mind, I used to think, what a huge advantage it is. He doesn't ever have to worry about his quarterback. He can focus his energy on so many other things. Yeah. This year, for the first time in a long time, over an entire season, Bill Belichick's got to worry about his quarterback.
Yeah. And it's funny, we talked about the message of, now Jim Kelly coming out and saying this. It's almost somewhat expected. You almost expect Jim to come out and endorse the team. Now, does that put pressure on Josh? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And I guess we'll have to ask Josh that the next time, we get a chance to talk to him. But I also think it's interesting because you see all these reports coming out of New England of this player and that player is so impressed by Jarrett Stidham and all this stuff. Well, duh. Like what stories are going to come out? All of a sudden, Rex Burkhead thinks that Jarrett Stidham's an idiot. Like some of these stories where people go, oh, we're hearing a lot of great things about Jarrett Stidham. Like, yeah, of course you are. You're not going to hear any bad stories about Josh Allen from, current teammates. And you're going to hear his teammates in New England say, Jarrett Stidham's a great guy. Oh, he's so mature and everything's going to be fine. While they may be bailing water out of their sinking ship by week 3 if things go south.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I remember someone in the Bills locker room was talking high praises about Nathan Peterman. Saying, and but he was his teammate. So I get it. At the time, I don't think anyone could have expected what happened, especially with Peterman. But Mike, I mean, you had an article on BuffaloPlus.com talking about your expectations or things that could happen for the 2020 season. The Bills winning the AFC East was one of them. What are some other things that you're looking out for as well?
Josh Allen with a 300-yard game. And look, I'm not going to say because it's a threshold and people make too much of it. And I agree. If, say he would have had 3 or 4 games where he was 290, 295, and he just hadn't gone over 300, okay. Yeah. But let's be honest. It's a very reachable number for many, many quarterbacks. It doesn't automatically make you an elite quarterback as you throw for 300 yards. But I think your quarterback for a playoff team with the talent around him should be able to pump out 300-yard games. It's not like it's some crazy number. Like I said, There's been bad quarterbacks that have done it, but I don't know of any good ones that have never done it before. And I know he's only in his third year as the starter here and all those things, but I think it's coming.
Yeah.
And I have them 10 wins and winning the division. And maybe it'll be more than that, but I think the division's going to be a little tighter. And I'm telling you, I'm no Adam Gase fan, but I think the Jets feel like they can compete in the division this year. Not saying they're going to win it, but I think they're going to be a little bit better, especially if their quarterback stays healthy, because I think he's a talented guy. I think Sam Darnold's pretty good.
Dan, I see your reaction by that. I mean, I agree with Mike. I mean, I feel like the Jets, as well as Miami, we know their roster has been improved. And we talk about how the Bills are shoo-ins or they're expected to win the AFC East, but I feel like we can't.
Hang on. You're right, Jenna, because, Dan, let's go back to last year, right? The Miami game in Orchard Park, the Bills should have lost.
Yep.
The Jets game, opening game, they were down 17-0.
Yep.
It's not like they dominated those teams. And I'm not saying those teams are better than the Bills. I still think the Bills are in the division. But I think it's becoming a much tighter top-to-bottom division than I think people give it credit for. They're ready to – a lot of national people are ready to hand it to the Bills. I'm saying I think the Jets have something to say about it.
And I'll say that I guess I'll be the contrarian to Mike, just saying that I think the Dolphins, with that unknown of what Tua could be, and what they've done and the weapons that they have put around and the young talent that they have, and it's so funny on these. If you follow us on these blogs, we love to rip on Bill O'Brien. Adam Gase has got to be in the Bill O'Brien realm of bad coaches that could just ruin a quarterback.
But here's the difference. Bill O'Brien is also the GM. I think Joe Douglas is a smart guy with the Jets. I think the Dolphins in total have made good moves. I think at least it feels like there's an adult in the room with the Jets. They've built up the lines a little bit more. Again, don't quote me thinking I think the Jets are winning the division, but I think that's a team going into last year where people thought they could be pretty good and then it all fell apart for them. We'll see in 2020.
I mean, Mike, I agree with you in that in terms of I think like people are like, all right, you know, a lot of fans are looking at the schedule. Sweep of the Jets, sweep of the Dolphins. It's like they play twice. These are teams that, you know, they know each other very well. Obviously, I think the leadership last year for the Bills was the strong suit against the Jets. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, again, that was a game, that first game, week one. Obviously, the Bills progressed since then. Obviously, the Jets did as well. That game they were losing till the fourth quarter. That game was a comeback win.
And I will go back to this same thing. I think that big edge for the Bills is the continuity.
Yes.
The Jets have a good percentage of that. It's not as strong as the Bills, but the same quarterback coming back, the same head coach coming back. We can argue the merits of Gase, but they have that. And I think the Dolphins have elements of that. They have a lot of new players. It is odd that the Patriots are the ones that for the first time in forever, it's a new guy running things at quarterback. But I think in this offseason, I think that's still a big edge for the Bills. But I'm telling you, look out for the Jets.
All right.
Wow. And everybody bagged on me when I thought the way the Dolphins drafted, I was like, hey,
I like the Dolphins.
And then we talked to
the Dolphins
played a couple of guys
last year.
Right. And you talked to a couple of guys, you know, I think we talked to a couple of analysts and stuff like that, and they were like, it's not that easy for the Dolphins to go from a 5 to 6 win team, from a 10-win team to actually be competing. They go, I think it was Benjamin Albright we talked to, that they're still maybe 2 years away. To see what Tua could be, all of a sudden they could be there. What are you shaking your head at now, Mike?
No, I don't think teams are necessarily always 2 years away. I mean, the Bills are one of those teams, kind of like the Chiefs, where it's been a progression to get better. But we've seen teams do it. Look at the Rams did it. Boom. Then the next year they were in the Super Bowl. The Eagles were not a playoff team. Then the next year they were in the Super Bowl. Atlanta did it the same way. I mean, it is possible to do. You can go from being bad to really good pretty quickly in this league. I think the Bills
you can go.
Right, you can go the other way. Yes, we've seen a lot of teams do it that way.
Cleveland Browns. Yeah. So there's an adult in the room. You keep I think that's the best part, Mike, that you said. There's an adult in the room. And that's why I was just talking to my dad over the weekend, and he goes, oh, the Bills could be the Browns. And I go, there's a massive difference between Josh Allen's ego and Baker Mayfield's ego and what they had with the coaching staff. I go, there's just, it's night and day different. And that's why when everybody's going to try and throw that Browns, I think, you know, mantra at somebody, just go, there's an adult. That's the bottom line. There's an adult in the room.
Yeah. No, I agree. Feeling feisty on this Monday. For Mike Catalana.
This isn't a red face. This is just sunburn.
I didn't pick on Dan.
Look red.
I didn't pick on Dan being he's wrong in enough things. This time I think he was that off. I'm just telling him to remember the Jets. Remember I think these games, I think the division games are going to be fun. And I still think that the Bills are the most talented team in the division with the best coaching staff. It's going to be a lot on the quarterback this year. That's all I'm saying. All
those things are true.
Yeah.
All right. For Mike Catalana and Dan's red face. Thanks for watching.
Nothing I can do.